Hi, my name is Ashley Forsyth, and I own Health and Fitness Meals in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I have here with me today Bonnie Barber. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
So, Bonnie is the owner of Platinum Design, and I know Bonnie because I actually used your services. I think I met you. We did a lot of booths, I think that's actually how we met.
At the health expos that would come around here. It's really, and you prepped a lot of my meals.
Well,
You prepped,
but we met before that. I think we met at a booth and then we used each other's services. So your business, you make very beautiful, and they're all displayed behind you. Um, Basically suits for bodybuilding shows, which is a very specific niche market. And I've been a bodybuilding competitor, so I already knew you when I was going to compete. I knew I was going to have you make my suits. And you had known me from the booths, and you had used me for food prep as well. So we kind of both used each other's services. And tell me a little bit about you and how you got into this line of work.
well, how it originally started out was my husband had a client getting ready to compete in a show, and I had previously done shows and we were starting my family, and so obviously you compete when you're pregnant. A way for me to be involved was I said to this client, "Hey, I think it would be fun to kind of design and make a suit for you. Would you let me try it and see how it just goes?" And she said, "Yeah, absolutely." Um, so I made her figure suit. I spent hours and hours and hours and hours sewing it and creating a pattern. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, the hardest thing I've ever sewn. And I thought, holy cow, this is so hard. And now I have to stone this. So once I got into the stones after perfecting how the suit was made, that's when it really was like, this is cool. I can allow my creative outlet to come out, and by what this person tells me they like about suits and what they're looking for to be seen on stage, I get to help them almost create the final piece of the cake going on stage. It's like the final touch of the show for them. So that was really cool. And from there, it kind of turned in. I helped the next person, where I'd fix someone's suit, and little stuff here and there turned into bigger stuff. And before you knew it, I had people asking me. And as the industry has changed and cuts and styles have changed, you almost you have to change with the industry too. So I've had a big mentor along the way giving me tips, not how to sew them, but just things to look for when I'm designing them. Because my mentor doesn't sew, but they know what they're looking for when they're competitors on stage. So their insight really gave me a lot of insight on how to develop my product.
All right, so you knew you had experience sewing before. Is that right? You had a sewing machine, you knew how to sew, but you had never done this specific type of
No,
project.
I had never sewn a swimming suit, but I used to make my own clothes in high school, like shirts and
Mhm.
pants, and I would wear them, and I thought I was the coolest thing ever because I designed my own outfit. I had an interest in fashion. I like all the funky outfits, the stuff you see on TV and the Vogue magazines. I think that stuff is really fun. So I've always had an interest in being creative. I just didn't know it would come out in bodybuilding and figure. So it's been fun.
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously always been a really creative person, and that's cool that you've been able to incorporate that into your own business. And it sounds like your business started similar to mine. It was almost so organic that you didn't plan on it, and it just started happening. I mean, your husband owns a gym, and
Yeah.
he's a personal trainer, and so it just so happened that you knew people in bodybuilding, and you're like, let me work on this for you. And then it just started taking off. It just became more popular, and until you developed and obviously you registered your own company. And it's yes.
What people do, how I got my business is they think by the people I knew is how I got in and got bigger. But it wasn't because of the people I knew or know or my relationships, but it was because people around me saw that I had a desire to want to develop something really good, And when they saw that I was getting better and better and better, then my services became bigger and bigger and bigger. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So, let's see what we're gonna ask. Okay. So, as far as like, how did it become big enough that you made you take this final leap into working for yourself? I know that a year or so ago, you were just barely quitting you had another job and this. So there's two big transition periods for you. And one is where you obviously decided that this could be your own company and you decided to register it, at which point, and then the next one would be, at which point did you have enough business that you could quit your full-time regular job?
Well, about a year and a half ago, I was working a 9-to-5 job full time. And then on the off hours, I would help my husband with the gym. And then in between is when I would find the time to sew. I didn't see myself this turning into where I was going to quit my job. I only saw this as my weekend fun thing. But the more people that started to utilize my services and the more people that kept asking me and saying, you're really good at this, or I was giving the product that made them happy, then I kind of thought, gosh, I wonder if I could make a little bit more money. And I don't know if it was one specific thought or one moment. It kind of was just over time. It's like, I'm burnt out. I don't want to do all this. And if I'm going to invest all of my time, I'm going to do it in something I love. So I'm done. I'm done wasting my time where I'm not happy. And I'm going to put my time into something where people appreciate what I'm doing for them. And if I make money, great. And if I don't make money, I guess I'll just go get another job. But you really don't know until you just do it. I could have taken a leap of faith and then had nobody ask me for suits. But because I care enough to deliver a quality product, it keeps people coming back for business, and that and the personable experience that they have is what gives me the I guess the comfort knowing that I'll always have a valuable place to help people.
That's great, Bonnie. And I mean, you specifically, I mean, you work in such a niche market, and that's what your service is it's not generally like sewing a lot of things. It's something very specific. I want to know how you develop that. How do you keep your trade secrets, and how do you deal with people asking to learn your craft?
Okay, we'll start with the first one. Will you say it? What first one again?
So you got into such a niche market, and you kind of talked about how that happened and how you got there specifically. But I mean, how do you keep your trade secrets, and how do you deal with people asking to learn your craft?
So trade secrets are things that I notice or see on other competitors, other designer suits, things that I pick up that I go, oh, I see how she did that. I see why that doesn't work. This is how I do it. This is why it works, and vice versa. I get a lot of people asking me if I can take them on and be my assistant or learn to work with me so that way they can help me do things within my office. And when you have started from scratch, building something and sacrificed money and time away from your family, it's not something you instantly are willing to turn around and to show somebody. You have to go through a lot of adversity, a lot of trial and error, and a lot of practice. I sew for hours on end. Sometimes I'll get the whole pattern done and the whole suit done, and I won't like the way that it looks. So I do it again because I'm working on perfecting my product. You can't just bring anybody in and teach them that. That's something you have to learn on your own and be driven to get better and better to create that product. So when I'm asked from other people, hey, can I come in and learn your trade? I just say, no, I'm not interested at this time. There's no real delicate way to really put it. People, they see success and they see everything you are and what they think you are, but they don't understand or how to feel or know what you've done to get to that point. And so unless they're really get to that point or have done it themselves, it's just not something you want to just go share with everybody.
I think that's really great. Like what you were describing and what you said to me earlier, it's like the iceberg.
Yeah, the iceberg, where you have the mountain and then the water, and above here it says success and what everybody sees, right? The fame and everybody knows you. But underneath, how much did you sacrifice? Time, money, um, discipline, learning a new skill. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it to be in a position where you're able to feed your family with the money that comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree because I mean, personally, with my company, with Health and Fitness Meals, people are like, oh, food prep is popular, and so we're gonna just do this, and other people are doing it, so we're just gonna do this, and it's gonna be great. And I like laugh because there's like a new food prep company I feel like I hear about all the time, like constantly. And I think it's funny. I was like, oh, okay, that you think this is gonna be really fun and easy, and you think it's just gonna like make a lot of money, but I know the realities of the cost of food and the cost of labor and the cost of the kitchen, and I watch places come and go. And in the whole time that I've been in business, I think there's maybe one other company that's been in business for as long. So yeah, people definitely think they can repeat it and they think they can do it. And one thing I do to protect myself, and I'm not sure if it's something that you would do or you're thinking if you've thought about doing before, is I do a lot of non-compete agreements when I bring people on to work for me that I think like might have the ability or the skill set or want to do it on their own, so they don't just walk away with a big learning everything that I've taken so long to learn and then start another company that's going to compete against me. Because that's something I think that a lot of people do. They're excited to get help. They're excited other people are excited to learn it, but you don't want to just give something away, you know, possibly lose your clients, possibly, you know, have somebody end up competing against you.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. My business is good. Everybody thinks they can cook, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to learn my skill and I taught you, just because I give you like a personal trainer, like I trained you and you took the meal plan that I gave to you and you gave it to other people to make money off of, just because I teach you those skills and give you those tools. How do I put this? Just because I give you those tools doesn't mean you have the skills to understand the full picture. So
Mm-hmm.
I think at some point in time, I'm definitely going to be open to that. But right now, where I have somebody contacting me because they want to work directly with me, they want to have a personable experience, and they want to know that the money they're giving me, they're trusting that I will deliver 100% what their expectations are going to be. And so, yeah, it's just something that comes with your business. It's like your baby, right? You wouldn't just give your baby to a stranger.
I mean, I agree. If I'm coming to you, it's because I want to work with you. You sell yourself with your business and you're passionate about it. And I don't want to be, you know, handed off to like your assistant because.
Right. You don't want to work with Joe Schmo. You want to work with me. And if I took that personal ability out of it, how less likely are you to use me?
Mm-hmm. I want to get back to that later on because I think that's something that you do really well. But as of right now, I want to talk about what is, if you were to have a piece of advice from your experience to leave other women with that are looking to start their own business, create their own craft, what would it be? What would your advice be to them?
I think things you're good at, you take that talent and you find a need and you meet that need. And with the passion you have for that product and the talent, developing it through hard work, it will turn into something that will pay off in the long run.
Awesome.
Just don't start the business because you're expecting the dollar. Start it because you want to help people, and it will pay off more than you would know.
All right, that's so great. And I want to, you're in your studio right now.
Yes.
So, and you have a studio office right now out of your home. Do you want to show it to us?
Here it is. And then I have this little mirror over here where you can come and look. And then these are a lot of my bikinis and figure suits.
Beautiful. I remember visiting you in your last studio, and this is a new one for your new home, and you are about to move permanently into an office at your husband's gym, correct? So you won't be working out of home very much longer.
Nope. I'm going to spend time in the office at hours. And I think that'll be great because it'll be a little bit more open hours where people can pop in instead of having to have a set appointment. If they happen to be in the area, then they know I'm open and available. So it'll make it easier for everybody.
Awesome. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit more about you and your personalization, because I think that's something that every single person in business can take from. And personally, I love working with you. I refer anybody to you that I know that does bodybuilding, that I train, or I know I've sent you some of my personal training clients your way for suits, and any of my friends who are competing, and anybody who uses, health and fitness meals, our food prep service, I send them all your way. And it's not just because your product's amazing, which it is, but it's also because I know you, and you're so great to work with. I had fun coming to see you every time I got to come and do measurements. You did a really great job making me feel like great about my progress, about like my body, which is a really big thing when that's what you're about to like display on stage in front of everybody. And so people want to return to you because of your personalization, because of your personal touch, because of your personality. So tell me a little bit about that. Maintaining clients and selling yourself with your product.
I think that when somebody's coming into my office to get measured, it's about them. It's about me listening to what they're wanting, color, stone, design, and just really going through all the options, showing them what they think they want, and then showing them what they really want. And when you listen and you care about the design that they have imagined in them, it just makes it fun because you're collaborating back and forth. I don't know that I think when somebody comes in, oh, how do I make them special? I just think naturally they're excited to have somebody be one-on-one with them and hear all of their needs, have them be met in the fitting and in the cut. And just to know that, because I've previously competed, know that I know and understand the process and what they're thinking and what they're feeling. And the reassurance that when they get their suit, it will be everything that they want it to be and everything it should be for you to represent your best self on stage.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I mean, I wanted to pinpoint one other thing that you do. So it's a vulnerable thing, I think, for people to come to you. And you also do the spray tans, but I mean, generally, like, you're working intimately with people. Like, I mean, I think you saw me like a lot up close and personal and like naked, like trying to do like spray me down and do all those things. But you made me feel very comfortable. So I think you're good at like that and making people not feel so vulnerable. So I think that's something else that you offer. And
thank you.
All right. So I guess the last thing that we are going to do is you can ask me a question about, I don't know, my business or anything about me personally, and I'll answer it.
So what I've watched you do over the last little while is you're a very strong woman. You like to pursue things that help other people. So through health and fitness, you've been able to educate people on nutrition. What's your next business pursuit?
So it's been a really big thing for me to try to get health and fitness meals to a place where it's automated, where it doesn't require so much of me. And I've got and for me, that's been building a really great team of employees that understand my passion about it, understand, my perfection, and I trust them. And so it's difficult. It's hard to hire people. It's hard to fully trust them with your baby, basically. But I have a really great team right now, and I've gotten to the point where I left out of town for like a month pretty much, and they just handled everything. And it was wonderful. And I had my nutritionist that did macro matching for people while I was gone. I didn't even have to look at that. And I came back and it was all done perfectly. And the orders were wonderful. And it it was great. Like that's what I want. And I want to be able to have that long term where I'm not working so hard at my company and for my living, and it's more automated. And I actually had some guys offer. So like that's going to be a really long process, but like if that one doesn't work, you know there's going to be more coming. And so it's just getting it to that place where it works without me and it can be duplicated. Also, you know, knowing that business and, you know, not planning on going to school for business, not really understanding or knowing business, it was like a crash course. So I learned a lot of things. I had to learn a lot of things on my own. And when you own your own business, of course, you do everything by yourself. So every single part of my business, I knew what it was like. I knew what it's like to cook the meals. I knew what it was like to weigh them out, to measure them, to do the deliveries, to do the website, to do my accounting. Like I've done all of it at a point 100% on my own. And so I kind of learned why food prep is hard, like why it's maybe not the most financially rewarding business. You obviously have to love it in order to make it work, but also the expenses. There's like an industrial kitchen isn't cheap to lease. It's very laborious job. So you got really high expense overhead for labor. You got really high overhead for food. And what people don't understand is that my profit margins for it are really small. And it's really only in large quantities that makes it that I'm able to have a good salary for myself off of it. But I know realistically, it's a very small profit margin business. And I known what I wanted to do. So even before health and fitness meals, I knew that I wanted to, you know, do the nutrition plans for people. And I've been doing that in my own way. I got a program certified that I made. I've been doing the nutrition plans and then trying to get people to do the food prep. So it kind of came together. But I finally created a subset company where I have the automated nutrition program that has like more than 140 different types of plans. And it goes from like high protein to vegan to paleo. And I don't have to do so much work on it. It's completely automated. People fill out their own information, what their goals are, and then they get a plan emailed to them. They've got a manual that helps them understand it and learn it by themselves. They've got a link that they can set an appointment with me and talk about their plan. And it works completely on its own. And it's what I've always wanted to do, and I finally created it. I can start actually making money passively by it. So I just launched it last month, and I just filed it as a different business so that it wouldn't affect health and fitness meals income. I just filed that separately this week, and it's awesome because I can finally do something that doesn't have the overhead. I've learned and understood business models a lot better, and I can start making money without working so hard, because my goals is to be able to not work so hard for the rest of my life. And I want to have a family, I want to be able to raise kids, but I need to be able to count on an income. So that's kind of where my future business goals lie. And I'm really excited. I'm excited to be a business owner of two businesses, and I don't know, just be in my 30s and what?
Just creating more opportunity for yourself. It's really neat.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that's where I'm going with it. And so, like I said, like basically earning money and income without having to work so hard in my life. That's, I think, where every business owner wants to end up.
Yeah. I agree. So maybe not in this soon.
What was that?
Maybe not in this now, but maybe soon or later, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you a lot. Thanks for coming on with me, Bonnie. I know I've been wanting to interview you for a long time, so I really appreciate it. And I appreciate your time. And I know you want to get back to your family. So thanks for coming.
Thank you, Ashley.
Bye.